Hey everyone, I'm back with my decks for September of 2017. I know it's not September today, but it will be in a couple days, so I might as well do it now. I'm kind of going with like a Victorian theme for the month of September. There's lots of browns in it, very like fall colors. September's kind of, it's the end of summer and beginning of fall, so it's got like a very nostalgic kind of feel. So I am using the Steampunk Tarot for my weekly readings and then also for my daily draws on Instagram if you follow me there. And I really love this deck. Picked this up last year and I'm really glad I did. It's just like a really nice, it's a Rider-Waite-Smith based deck. It's a Llewellyn deck. But this is the old cardstock. Not the cardboard, the older cardstock, like the thinner stock, which I actually like better than the thicker one because it's a little bit easier to shuffle. It does have black borders, it's not borderless, but it doesn't bother me, especially with a sort of brown color scheme on this, so it doesn't bother me that much. So I quite like this deck. It's a fun deck if you like, Victorian or steampunk type images. It's very cool. I do quite like it. Ooh, I dropped a card. I like that some of the knights are women. Even the queens are on horses, some of them. So it's a nice deck. So I'm going to be using that for my September deck. And then I'm going to be coupling it in my Instagram draws and the weekly readings with the Vintage Wisdom Oracle, which is just, it goes so well with the steampunk deck. I mean, it's Victorian. This is a collage deck of various postcards that the creator found. A lot of them have sort of like a Edwardian or Victorian type feel to them. And so I think it'll pair really, really well with the Steampunk Tarot. I've used it before in readings, and I know a lot of clients really love it. It's just got a really gentle kind of vibe to it. It's just beautiful. And then for, I usually use like a cartomancy type deck as well with my readings. So I'm not using a Lenormand this month. I am using the Fin de Sickle Kipper deck, also quite Victorian. I love this box because it's got the little magnetic thing. And, if you like, it's Ciro Marchetti, and they're just beautiful. They've got silver gilding, which I love. It's got, again, a very steampunky kind of vibe to it. Very Victorian. So I'm going to be pairing all these together, and I think they go together really, really well. There we go. So that's what I'm going to be using like in my readings. If you purchase a reading for me, sometimes I'm intuitively guided for someone to use something else, but if you're purchasing a reading for me in September, I'll be using kind of this set with the Steampunk Tarot, the Vintage Wisdom Oracle, and the Fin de Sickle Kipper. And then I'm also going to be using those two decks with my daily draw stuff on Instagram. I do also, if you subscribe to my newsletter, I do a weekly newsletter where I draw a card from a more like a god or goddess or angel type deck, and I do a little blurb about it. And the deck I have this month does not match with those at all, but I just really felt drawn to use it. Where is it? Oh, there it is. I'm like, showing you the back of my head. Anyway, Keepers of the Light by Kyle Gray. Kyle Gray, if you've seen my Doreen Virtue video, I was talking about how for me he's kind of really replaced her as far as a somebody who's, does sort of these angelic type decks or ascended master type decks and is very inclusive of everyone, whether they're Christian or pagan or just sort of generally spiritual new age. He's, just got a little bit of everything in this deck, which I really like, and he seems to come across a little bit more genuinely than I found Doreen Virtue did in the past few years. I mean, who knows, Kyle Gray's still a young guy and he's growing and evolving, as we all are, but I really love this deck. So there we go. We've got Mary Magdalene, Radha, which is a Hindu deity, Lady Nada, which is an Ascended Master. So it's just a really lovely deck, and I know it doesn't really match with the others, but I just felt like drawn to use this for the month of September. So if you're interested in getting the newsletter, you can always click the links below to my website and subscribe. There you go. So yeah, just lovely decks. So that's what I'm going to be using this week for the month of September. If you have any of these decks, let me know what you think of them. Do you combine them with other decks? Do you like combining kind of themes all together? Let me know. Let me know what your decks you're using for September. I would love to hear. Like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you later.